Everyone thinks smart people just know more. More facts, more answers, more of everything. But that's not really true. The real difference isn't what they know, it's how they think, how they approach problems, how they deal with situations that overwhelm most people. You don't need a perfect memory or top grades to be smart. You just need to think the way smart people do. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 simple ways smart people use their minds differently. These aren't difficult to learn, but most people never pick them up. If you start using these, you'll notice changes almost immediately. People will begin to ask for your advice. Problems won't feel as overwhelming, and you'll feel more in control. So let's get into it.
1. They don't fight to be right. Here's where most people get it wrong. When someone disagrees with them, they immediately turn it into a conflict. They argue, get frustrated, and try to prove the other person is wrong. But smart people handle it differently. Instead of arguing, they get curious. They ask real questions, not ones meant to trap or embarrass someone. They'll say things like, "Can you help me understand your perspective?" or "What led you to think that?" They're not focused on winning, they're focused on understanding. And here's the interesting part. When you stop trying to win and start trying to understand, people actually listen. They don't feel attacked, they open up. That's when real conversations happen. That's when perspectives begin to shift. Smart people understand this. You can't force someone to agree with you, but you can guide them to think more deeply about their ideas. And when that happens, they often change their own mind. 2. They see the bigger picture. Most people get stuck on small setbacks. They fail a test and immediately think they're not smart. Someone rejects them and they start questioning their worth. One bad day and suddenly it feels like everything is going wrong. But smart people take a step back. They zoom out and look at the situation differently. They don't focus on one bad test. They look for patterns. Maybe they need a new way to study, more rest, or extra help in a subject. They don't treat rejection as proof they're not good enough. They see it as feedback, something to learn from, something to adjust. Instead of overreacting, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? When you zoom out like that, problems start to look like puzzles, and puzzles can be solved. Smart people don't panic. They pause and they plan. 3. They focus on what they can control. This one is powerful. Most people waste a huge amount of energy stressing about things they can't control. What others think of them, whether it's going to rain, if their boss is in a bad mood, or what could go wrong next week. All that worrying doesn't fix anything, it just drains them. Smart people follow a simple rule. If it's out of my control, I let it go. Instead, they put their energy into what they can control. They can't control the weather, but they can bring an umbrella. They can't control people's opinions, but they can control how they act. They can't control the outcome, but they can control their effort. That shift saves them a lot of energy they can use to actually improve things and solve real problems. When you stop stressing about everything, you start focusing on what actually matters. 4. They use silence as a tool. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence. The moment a conversation goes quiet, they rush to fill the gap. They say whatever comes to mind, just to avoid the awkwardness. But smart people are different. They're comfortable with silence. They take a moment to think before they speak. They listen more than they talk, and they allow others to fully finish what they're saying. And here's the interesting part. Silence actually makes people pay more attention. When you pause before responding, your words carry more weight. When you truly listen without interrupting, people feel understood. Quiet people often come across as more intelligent, not because they know more, but because they choose their words carefully. Try this next time someone asks you something. Pause for a few seconds before answering. You'll be surprised how much clearer and stronger your response becomes.
5. They pause instead of reacting. This might be the most important one. Most people respond to everything instantly. Someone cuts them off in traffic, they get angry right away. Someone says something rude, they fire back. When things don't go their way, they complain or give up. But smart people handle it differently. They pause. When something triggers them, they take a moment to breathe. They ask themselves, is this really worth my energy? What's the best way to respond here? If someone is rude, they don't react immediately. They think, maybe this person is dealing with something. How can I respond better? This isn't weakness, it's control. The person who stays calm while others lose control has the advantage. The person who thinks before reacting makes smarter decisions.
So here's what all of this really means. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need perfect grades or some elite education. What actually matters is how you think. Ask questions instead of arguing. Look for patterns instead of overreacting to one moment. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Get comfortable with silence and take a pause before you respond. Most people won't do this. They'll keep reacting, stressing, and arguing without thinking. But if you start practicing these 5 habits, things begin to change. You'll notice solutions where others only see problems. You'll stay calm in situations that overwhelm most people. And you'll make better decisions because you're thinking clearly, not just reacting emotionally. People will start coming to you for advice. They'll wonder how you stay so composed under pressure. And the best part? You don't have to be born smart or special to do this. You just have to pay attention. Think before you act. Choose your response instead of reacting automatically. That's what real intelligence looks like, and now you know how to build it. Here's what I want you to do next. Pick just one of these 5 habits. Don't try to do everything at once. That's where most people go wrong. Maybe you start by pausing before you react, or maybe you focus on asking questions instead of arguing. Just choose one and stick with it for the next week. And if you want to stay consistent with this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I post videos like this every week, videos that help you think sharper, stay calm, and handle life better. When you subscribe, you're not just watching content, you're joining people who are trying to improve and think differently. If this video helped you, drop a like so more people can find it, and leave a comment below. Tell me which habit you're starting with. I read all of them, and I like seeing your progress. Remember, you don't have to change everything overnight. Just start small, one habit at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.